Well, okay, blade fans. Here is one I've been waiting for. And I know you've seen this most likely on some other channels. And I've been waiting. I probably waited too long on the first round of these and missed out. But noted that a few days ago on White Mountain, a whole bunch of models of this Riat knife, and it is the Exo, appeared. And it was like Christmas all over again. Wow, which one do I get? So let's take a look at the end of the box. And as other reviewers have noted, this is a venture that sort of demands an unboxing because it's sort of like breaking into an iPhone box, you know, where you've got the main thing, the attachments, the little boxes, the big boxes, and so forth. So I figured you'd want to enjoy that along with me. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. And then the second part of the review is going to be all just on the knife. So we got a parts box, the Kydex clip, and the Exo. So in the first little box we have the Kydex clip. Notice we're building slowly to the crescendo of the main event. And this is the belt clip that is going to attach. What you'll see in a moment is the holster for this knife, and we'll talk about later about why it requires one. So that's that part. In the parts box is basically your hardware for attaching the belt clip to the holster. I'm not going to open this. Screws are small. I don't want to get them all over the place. Needless to say, all it is some Chicago screws that hold the clip to the holster. I'm going to set that aside for now. And then notice they even give you a little convenient, and I'm going to rip it. Let me see if I can shake it out. Okay. Here we have what's labeled Kydex. So this is a little desiccant pouch in there. This is the holster that the Exo will fit in. I'm going to put the main box aside and just put these parts out there. So now we have the main event in this unboxing part. This is the Exo, Riat Exo, and boy, that is a beauty. Titanium. Yeah, you gotta hang on to it. Green micarta was my choice for this one. And a beautiful satin finished drop point in Elmax steel. Now the next frame you see will be the knife alone without all the other stuff, but we will talk about the holster a little bit. So through the miracle of video editing, we will be back momentarily. Okay, so we're back. And as you can see, I rearranged things just a little bit on the tabletop. So we have only the Riat Exo with us here. And I want to do some interesting things, at least I think they're interesting, because there's been a lot of love for this knife and a lot of curiosity and a lot of objection. You know, it doesn't lock, it's a gravity knife, and let's look at all of that. So this is the beauty of the workmanship that is inherent in Riat knives as a brand. Had a choice of black micarta, and now they have black G10. You might have another G10. They've got the Tonto blade. They've got the bayonet with a half sharpened top edge. And I happen to like the drop point. Just classic. Beautiful blade shape. And so the way this thing works, as I think you probably have seen on other reviews, and again, I'm just a couple weeks behind the pack here, maybe a month. These are also pricey. $277 seems to be the running price for this one. I think the black bladed ones run like $5 to $7 higher. So $277. If you buy it on White Mountain Knives, you can get 10% off with the Old Sword discount code. That's me. So I'll drop it around to about $250. Still, you may balk at that, and I wouldn't blame you, but you're getting a finely machined quality knife out of quality materials. Excellently ground blade out of Elmax. Elmax being a pretty tough steel, in some ways slightly different than M390, but still up there in the same category. Just nice machining all the way around. You've got jimping gripped, milled into the grip area near the finger there. You have this nice run of file-like crosshatch jimping right up near the blade on the frame. And let's take a look at what's inside there. There is the exoskeleton design. That's the EXO, what it stands for, by Riat, with their patent numbers. And the serial number on this one, I've got to pull it up out of the camera to see a little closer, is 052. Now, whether that's overall or just of this style, I am not sure. So, what of this gravity action? You can see how it works. The blade simply slides on a track and is enclosed in that channel. And nice thing is, if it's halfway out and you close, you're really only making contact between that clamshell frame and this stud, if you want to call it that. And then once it's there, it won't move. The lockup was something I had a question about. You get about as much wiggle as you do out of a quality OTF knife. And a quality OTF knife in this case would be something such as the example I have here, the Dirac from none other than Microtech Knives. And we have play in that blade too. Put it near the mic, you can hear it. Okay, so I would say the play in the blades is about the same, and it's inevitable because essentially the Exo, the EXO, is a out the front knife. Now here's another interesting factoid. Put the Dirac away. When we're talking about knives that open freely, how about a balisong? I've been playing with these for many years, and back in the day, in the early 80s, I was buying these from Benchmade without a latch, custom ones. You could opt out of the latch. What held everything in place? The grip of your hand, right? So, hard to do in front of the camera and show you fully. But basically, here you have something that when the handle is released, it opens in a little different way because you have a handle falling away from the handle you're holding as well as the blade falling away. But still, concept is the same. Hold the knife firmly, the blade stays in place, and you use the blade, right? With the Exo, you release one handle here and you use the knife. As long as you're holding the handle, the knife will not close. And the only real danger is the knife opening and maybe sticking in your hand or your leg or a body part with that much force. So you get a little pinprick, and of course you definitely could jerk your body around and move in a certain way and get cut. So yeah, I think there is some training, some awareness that needs to occur in how to use this knife. If you open it and you put it down, realize that if you pick it up this way, it's going to close. If you put it down and pick it up, hold it point down, it's going to close. It's going to open. And you can throw it out nicely too in one little wrist movement, which I like. But again, so long as you have any kind of pressure on the handle that you're holding it in a using position, the blade stays in place. It's locked in place, can't go anywhere. So that's my argument for this knife. Let's do some measuring. So closed length is 5 inches. Open length is 8 3/4 inches with a blade of 3 3/4 inches. Now once again, left my other measuring tools on the side. Let's grab the calipers and the scale. Running out of room. Let's close it up and let's do a handle thickness in inches. 0.54 inches across the handle. Switching to millimeters. Let's grab the blade. It's not real thick. 3 millimeters. And a weight. That's where it gets a little testy. I got a kind of a corrugated background here, so it gives me trouble now and then. Close enough. Okay, so we got 4.86 ounces by my scale. And I haven't referred to any of the factory specs on this. And it's going to be a little more if you put it in the enclosed. Yeah, I guess it's the enclosed sheath. So with the sheath, 6.07 ounces, call it 6 ounces. It's a little bit of extra weight. So having said that, how do you carry this knife, right? Do you add on the belt clip? And you can attach that in a number of different ways, I would imagine. Remember, I'm seeing this just shortly after you've seen it. I had a chance to play with it a little bit in the interim after the unboxing. But you know, you can clamp it on your belt horizontally or vertically. Or if you trust the scabbard, vertically with the handle down. I wouldn't recommend that, although it's got a pretty firm grip on the knife. It's a pressure fit. It doesn't snap in. You don't hear a click because you've got nothing back here to anchor it, to click it into place. It's just a nice friction fit. And they did a good job on it. Now you could conceivably carry this in the pocket, in the sheath, kick it off, that stays in the pocket, and open the knife. If you want to get real interesting, you could do this. Kind of cheapo. Keep it in your pocket like that. Not going anywhere. Keep the band up here. And there you go. I bet you haven't seen that one yet. It's only because, once again, we used to do that with the balisongs that we'd carry if they didn't have a latch. Another way to carry the balisong and this knife would be in your back pocket alongside your wallet, because the balisongs would stay right there and they would stay closed, both handles. So just another thought. And I'm sure you can get a hold of one of these nice leather pocket utility scabbards that holds other things as well. Has a little wallet attached. Slide it in your front pocket and shove it down in there. So long as it's snug, nothing's going to open. This clamshell has to open. How much does it need to open? That much. So almost fully before that will slide out, because that needs to clear that indent in the handle, that cutout in the handle. So do I think it's a cool knife and I like it? Yes, absolutely. Will I be carrying it? Yeah, once I do a little more experimentation and figure out exactly what works for me. Is it going to require a little extra thought over, say, a flipper or a thumb stud knife that's carried on a clip in the pocket? Absolutely. But just like with the balisong, as I said, you need to learn how to use it in order for it to be safe. The balisong is a whole different animal. This is yet a different animal altogether. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I think I got all of the little aspects of this, and it's going to be a little on the longer side of a review. But I think it was worth it. I'm glad I picked this up, and I hope you enjoy the review and what I've had to say and show you guys. You may want one. You never know. This Old Sword signing out. Don't forget to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe.